Okay, hello students. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Am I
Good
audible
morning,
to you?
sir.
Good morning,
Yes,
sir.
good morning.
Hello students. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible to you?
Good morning. Yes, sir,
Yes,
you
sir.
are
Good
audible.
morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so we will meet again after one long week. So I hope that you have given a good midterm examinations. So before the midterm week, we were just started to deal with the classification concepts, and I have already completed the k nearest neighbor classification. And today I'm going to just wrap up with some of the few points which we left due to a shortage of time in our last class on k nearest neighbor classification, and I will also show you some of the basic code snippets on the classification techniques, KNN classification techniques in Python. Okay. So today my main objective is to discuss with you on another important classification, which is known as Bayesian classification or naive Bayes classification. Okay, Bayesian classification or naive Bayes classification, and it is also known as, or it is also called as, probabilistic learning or probabilistic classification technique. Remember all these terms because any one of these terms can be used simultaneously. Okay, so I think have you previously taught that naive Bayes classification in any class? Have you previously been taught?
Yes, sir, in pattern recognition.
Have you completed naive Bayes classification there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this classification is also part of our data warehousing and mining syllabus. So so we will just I'm just going to discuss that naive Bayes classification. So those who have already attended the classes of naive Bayes classification pattern recognition, they can also listen it. And if you have any kind of queries or any kind of doubts, then you can clear in this class. Okay. So before you are going to learn about naive Bayes classification, you will have to have some idea about the probabilistic theorem. Okay, especially the probabilistic theorem which was developed by Thomas Bayes, which is called Bayes conditional theorem. I think all of you have a concept of conditional Bayes conditional theorem. So if you don't have a concept, just I am going to discuss it. Just wait. So let me share the screen first. Is this screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So naive Bayes classifier. Before I'm going to discuss naive Bayes, I want to discuss about the Bayes theorem, a very famous probabilistic conditional theorem, which has been developed by a famous mathematician Thomas Bayes in the era of 1702 to 1761. Okay, so probability that we will calculate the probability of any event by a fraction of total number of events happens divided by total number of possible outcomes. That is the very basic or general rule to calculate a probability of any event. Total number of events divided by total number of possible outcomes from that event. That all of we know that. So if we throw a dice, okay, and if I will ask you to find the probability of getting a number 6 of that dice. So a dice has total 6 ends or 6 sides starting from 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6. So what is the probability of, after throwing a dice, what is the probability of getting number 6 from that dice? How could you calculate? Can anyone tell me what is the probability of that?
1/6.
1 upon 6. Very good.
1/6.
1 by 6, because there is a chance of one time that a 6 will appear out of 6 possible outcomes. So that's why 1 divided by 6. In the same way, if I will ask you in the same dice question, if I will ask you what is the probability of getting number 2 and number 4 in dice, So that will be 2 by 6. That means 1 by 3. So all of you have some idea regarding the probability. So so we can also calculate the probability, the conditional probability. So this is the probability concepts. I think all of you know that total number of events divided by total number of possible outcomes, right? Now from this, if we calculate the conditional probability, the Bayes theorem derives the conditional probability. What is the conditional probability? Conditional probability states that while a event, Bayes theorem states that describe the relationship between two dependent events. So this A and B, these two events occurs. Okay, this A and B, and these two are dependent on each other. The conditional probability lies only on that occasion when both the events A and B are dependent on each other. So if we consider that our task is to guessing the probability that an incoming that event of what is the probability of getting an event A, what is the probability of getting an event A if an event B is already there, okay, or if an event B is already occurred. So A slash B slash represent the conditional concept. So what is the probability of getting an event A while event B is already occurred? Okay, that is the conditional probability that we want to calculate, right? So conditional probability can be calculated with the help of this formula, probability of A intersection B. That means we are going to calculate the common events between these two dependent events A and B, and that is divided by probability of B. So if we multiply this denominator part with the left hand side of the equation, so it will look like this. If we rearrange the equation, it will look like this: P of A intersection B equal to P of B into P of A slash B. That means this is a conditional probability, okay, and this is the prior probability. Now from this we are able to calculate P of B slash A, which is nothing but P of B into P of B slash A slash B divided by P of A. So if we replace it, then we will get the conditional probability of P of B slash A, okay, which is nothing but a P of B. The probability, this is called a prior probability. This P of A slash B is called likelihood or conditional probability, and this P of A is called a this P of B slash A is called posterior probability. Okay, so in this way we can calculate the conditional probability of two events, right? Now the thing is that we will use this concept of conditional probability as one of the component of Naive-Bayes Bayesian data classification algorithm, right? To find out the probability of the previously unseen instance or tuples belonging to each class, and then simply pick the most probable class. Okay, so Naive-Bayes classification is also called a probabilistic classification, where you are going to calculate the probability of an attribute value on a given class, okay, and the most interesting thing in Naive-Bayes classification, why it is called naive, because this term naive is used because the attribute values, the effect of one attribute values on a given class is totally independent of the other attribute values. That means one attribute values, probability of one attribute values does not create any effect on the probability of another attribute value of the same class. So two probabilities of two different attribute value are independent of each other. That's why in Naive-Bayes classification this naive term is using. Okay, so what is the significance of this naive term? The questions sometimes arrived. The significance of these naive terms in Naive-Bayes classification is that when you are going to calculate the probability of one attribute value on a particular class or on a given class, then it should not create any effect on any other attribute value. That means two attribute value on a given class are independent of each other. That we will see how it will independent. That means we will calculate the probability of individual components, right? So as for example, suppose we are calculating a probability of a fruit, whether the fruit can be a banana or not. Okay, suppose we are going to calculate that whether a fruit is a banana fruit or not. So if we are going to calculate the banana fruit, we have to consider some of the important features of the banana. What are the important features of the banana? Suppose the color of the banana is yellow. Suppose the banana shape is long shape and it has suppose a 2-inch diameter. So these are the three features that we will consider: color feature, shape features, and diameter of the banana. Now, according to naive Bayes classification, we will have to calculate the probability of this feature, okay, of the color feature of a banana on the based on this banana class. We have to calculate the probability of this feature. That means whether the banana, what is the probability that the banana becomes a yellow, okay. So that we will calculate, and in the same way we will calculate the probability of shape feature on the same given class banana. That means what is the probability of a banana as becoming long shape. In the same way we will calculate the probability of the diameter of a banana class. So all these probabilities will be calculated independently. They are not dependent on each other. That means the color of a banana class should not depend on the shape of the banana class, or the shape of the banana class should not depend on the diameter of the banana class. So we actually calculating all these features independently, the probability of all these features independently, but on the same given class, that is banana class. That's why it is called naive in naive Bayes. Do you understand? Anyone has any confusion? Is it clearly understood? Hello? Is it clearly understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So it makes the naive Bayes a easier computation. It's one of the very easier learning algorithm, but for general purpose use, naive Bayes will also give a good results, a good classification accuracy. Now let's come into this PPT. So this is naive Bayes classifier, and let's check out. So this is a plot, graphical plot, or you can say the dotted plot has been given to you. Here our main aim is to make a differentiate between the two kinds of insects, or two types of insects. One is grasshopper insects, and another is katydids insects. Okay. So these are the blue dots which represent the grasshoppers kinds of insects, and these are the red dots which represents the katydids kinds of insects. Okay. So these are the positions, and these dots will be drawn based on two parameters. One is the antenna length of the insects and abdomen length. So what will be the antenna length of grasshopper and abdomen length? Based on that, this katydids and grasshoppers insects, some of the samples of the insects has been plotted, okay, in this plot graph, okay, dotted graph. Now if we take such kind of samples, okay, a few samples of these katydids and grasshopper insects, okay, and if we converted this dotted plot into its corresponding histogram, it will look like this. Okay, it will look like this. This is a histogram, that means the bar graph, okay, compared to the values of antenna length and abdomen length of the insects. Now this histogram is a summarized view with two normal distributions. I think all of you have some idea about the probability distributions. That means you have already know about the binomial distribution or Poisson distributions or Gaussian distributions. So this curve is looking like a bell curve, right? So bell curve means it's a Gaussian distribution. Bell curve generally supports Gaussian distributions. It's one of the very famous or very useful distributions among all the other probability distributions. So if we convert this histogram into its corresponding distribution, probability distributions, then this will look like a Gaussian distributions or bell curve distributions, right? It's looking like a bell. Okay, ultano bell er moton dekhte. That's why it's called bell curve. Okay, looking like a bell. So if suppose I want to classify a particular insect, suppose I have given to you the antenna length of an insect 3, and I am asking to you by using conditional probability theorem, can you classify whether the insects whose antenna length is 3, whether it is a grasshopper insect or katydid insect? Clear? This is the objective of this question, that I have provided you an antenna length of the insect 3, and I will ask you to classify whether this is the grasshopper insects or a katydids insects example, right? And you have these two distribution graph. From where you have collected the distribution graph? From few samples of katydids and grasshopper you have collected. plotted, and then you have created the distribution, the histogram curve and corresponding distribution graph, right? So this is the formula, conditional probability formula, which I already discussed, Cj divided by D. That means probability of class Cj given that we observe the events D. Okay, what is the probability of class Cj given that we observe the event D? So here the event means this 3 has been given to you, and based on that you will have to identify what is the probability, which class probability is more, which is this antenna length 3 insects is probable to which class more. Is it a grasshopper class probability? Is it achieve a more probability towards the grasshopper class, or it is achieve a more probability towards the Katydids class? That you will have to decide it, or you will have to find out or classify by the help of probability, conditional probability theorem. Now, this is the formula that we are going to apply. Try to understand very carefully. This is the formula which I have immensely, very clearly have shown this respects these two formulas. So these are 3 is the antenna length. Now we will actually measure the length of this antenna, plot the length of this antenna, measure from this red curve as well as from this blue curve, right? What is the corresponding probability? So this is a probability scale, suppose has been given at the right hand side. So from 3, this is the position of the 3, and it will map into this position of the red curve. Red curve represents which type of insects? Katydids. And blue curve represents grasshopper kinds of insects, right? Remember it. So the probability, or you can say according to the bell curve, according to these two bell curve, the antenna length, when the antenna length of an insect is 3, the corresponding value of the bell curve in case of grasshopper is 10. And the corresponding value of the bell curve in case of Katydids is 2, right? So we'll calculate the probability individually based on grasshopper class and Katydid class on the occurred event. Occurred event means the given length is 3. Okay. So in this case, based on that, we'll first calculate the grasshopper class. So 10, okay, divided by 10 plus 2. The total number of events is 10 plus 2 and divided by 10. So this is the probability of finding that particular length 3 into a grasshopper class is 0.833. In the same way, we will calculate the probability that the antenna length 3 is finding in the Katydid class is 2 divided by 10 plus 2. 10 plus 2 is the total event. Then the probability of finding the Katydids of length, antenna length 3 is 2. So 2 divided by 10 plus 2. And this is the probability of finding that particular insects with antenna length 3 is 0.166 in Katydids class. So which probability is the maximum probability in between these two? The first one. So we will go for the maximum probability, and we will classify this particular event or this particular observation with antenna length 3 as a part of the grasshopper class, because grasshopper class occupies the maximum probability. Okay. In the same way, the antenna length 7 has been given, its corresponding probability will be calculated and its corresponding value. So in case of antenna 7 length, the insects with antenna 7 length will belong to a Katydid class, because Katydid class occupy the more probability compared to grasshopper class. In the same way, antenna 5, which will get a similar probability. So we cannot take any decision here because it will get a similar probability. But from the previous two probability, if we can take some sort of decision here that which the antenna length of that particular insect belongs to which class. Okay, up to this clear? Anyone has any confusion, any question, then you can ask me.
Sir, it is depending on, sir, how, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it is depending on how we are plotting the graph. If we plot the graph simultaneously, then, sir, both values may be same.
Look, these samples I have taken, I am assuming. Okay, these samples I am assuming. You will get a table of getting these samples. You will get a table of the random samples of some Katydids insects and some grasshopper insects. And according to that table, you will plot the graph in such a way, and then calculate the histogram and your probability distributions. Okay, and then these samples has been given as a testing data. This antenna length 3, antenna length 5, antenna length 7, these are testing data. And you will have to test according to your probability distribution theorem. You have to test that how much your model is working, which is only based upon the probability distribution. Right? Till now, I didn't apply any kind of naive Bayes classification. Till now, I am just using a simple conditional probability to find out the probable class of a particular insect. Okay, but this is not very popular because we will apply the same concepts with the as a component of the naive Bayes classification, which will much more strengthen or much more stronger than the normal conditional probability calculations or predictions. Okay, clear? Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now come into the Bayes classification. Okay, so I already discussed there are lots of theory that you will read by yourself that Bayes classification, it is a statistical classifier which will calculate the probability of a given tuple belongs to a particular class. Okay, or a given it will calculate the probability of a given instance belonging to a particular class, and its main job is to do the prediction of the class membership probabilities, right? So based on the probability concepts, it will move. Now this is the Bayes theorem which I already discussed in the previous cases. So P of Cj slash D is equal to P of D slash Cj into P of Cj divided by P of D. Okay, this P of Cj slash D is called posterior probability. Okay, this P of Cj is called prior probability. This P of D slash Cj is called likelihood functions. Okay, these are the major functions, likelihood functions. Okay, and this is P of D is called past probability. Okay, now these are the various representation of the class. Now I don't want to discuss all these things because you can track it by yourself. I just directly go into the examples. Okay, try to understand the examples very carefully. Now assume that we have two classes, right? C1 represents the male class and C2 represents the female class. Try to understand very carefully. C1 represents the male class and C2 represents the female class, right? Now, we have a person whose sex we do not know whether he or she is a male or female, okay? And his or her name is Drew. So Drew is such kind of name which can be a name of a female, Drew Barrymore, or which can be a name of a guy like this, of a male like this, Drew Carey. Okay, so the main job is to predict that Drew belongs to which kind of sex, or Drew belongs to which class, male class or female class. That is the main objective to calculate. I think the objective is clear to every one of you, right? Now, this is the objective which I already told. So our main calculation, Drew is a given event, okay, and our main calculation is to calculate the P of C slash D. C means the class based on a given event D. That is the formula has been told. Probability of finding a class based on a given event D. So the given event has been given is a Drew. Okay, so P of male slash Drew or P of female slash Drew. These two probability we need to calculate. And the probability which will occupy the highest probability, okay, the Drew should be focusing on that particular, or Drew should belongs to that particular class. Okay. So here it is the calculation which I already told. This is the posterior probability. This is the what is the probability of being called Drew given that you are a male. Okay, and this is the probability of being a male. Okay, and this is a Drew. What is the probability of being named a Drew? So we have these data sets with us. আমাদের কাছে data set আছে. These kind of data sets have been given into your examination, or while you are doing any sort of analysis, you will get such kind of data sets. You will must have such kind of data sets, which has a attribute name and a target class name. So in this data set, can anyone tell me which one is the target class here or predicted class here? In this given data set, which one is the predicted class and which one is the feature here or attribute here? Yes. Yes, tell me. Hello, tell me.
So sixth column is the featured. So
No, 6 is a
6
predicted
is
class,
target name.
and name is your feature. Name is your feature. Okay, because why 6 is predicted class? Because this C1, that means we have to calculate whether due belongs to male class or female class. So obviously 6 here is a predicted class. Okay, and this is a feature, right? So it's a classification. I already told in the first class during the classification lecture that every classification algorithm must follows an expert view. Okay, that the unsupervised, the supervised learning, all the supervised learning must follow. A classification is a part of supervised learning, and all the supervised learning algorithm must have a target class values or expert view of that class values. So it will help us to calculate the future prediction of the class. But the unsupervised learning doesn't have any kind of target class value. I think all of you remember these things. So this is the officer due. Now our main job is face a blur kora ache. So our main job is to predict it whether this officer due is a female or a male. Right? Very clear. Objective is clear to everyone. This data set has been given to you. So these are the names: Drew, Claudia, Drew, Alberto, Karin, Nina, Sergio, and these are the target classes, you can say. Okay. Now we'll calculate the probability of male / due. Probability of male / due. The conditional probability of being a male. Okay. The conditional probability of being a called due given that being a male given that event due. Okay. You have to calculate the conditional probability for a male given that event is due. Okay. Now the thing is that first, that means male given that event due. So our first objective is to calculate this one. That means probability of due / male. That means how many males, how many dues are there within the male class. Now we'll calculate. So one due within one male class. These due are from female class, right? We will not consider it. So only one due exists among how many male classes are there? Total 3 male classes are there. So 1, 2, 3. So total 3 male classes 1 by 3. Okay. So one Jew is there among total 3 male classes. Now we'll calculate the probability of CJ. CJ means the class. Class means what? Male. So how many male classes are there? That is the probability. Total 3 male classes are there. Among how many classes? Total 8 classes are there. Along with male and female, total 8 classes are there. So out of which 3 are males. So 3 divided by 8. Right? Divided by probability of D. Probability of D means probability of due. So how many Jews are there among how many classes? Okay. So Jew 1, 2, 3. Again 3 Jews are there among how many features are there? Total 8 features are there. Again 3 by 8. Again 3 by 8. The total 3 Jews names has been appeared among the 8 names. Okay. Now we will calculate the corresponding probability is 0.125. Right? In the same way, we will calculate the female probability of female of being an event of Jew. That means how many Jew are there within female class? The total female class is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many Jew are there within this female class? These 2 Jew. The 2 by 5 is the first probability, right? Into how many into P of CJ means P of female. How many female classes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 female class among how many classes? 8 classes. So 5 by 8 divided by probability of Jew. Probability of Jew. That means how many Jews are there among total 8 classes. This should be equivalent to this one, 3 by 8. Same probability will be there. Now the probability value, the final probability value of this class is 0.250. So officer Jew is more likely to be a female instead of male because the probability of the female is higher than the male probability. So officer Jew is a female. Is it clear to you? Tell me. Is this concept clear to you?
Yes, sir.
The interesting thing is that মজার ব্যাপারটা হলো only one feature is not enough to tell you the final class or to predict you the final class. Only one feature is not enough because in real life data sets or in practice you will get multiple features, multi-features problem. One feature problem is I am showing you for the sake of simplicity. Multi-feature problems you are getting in the practice class, okay, or in a real life you must get a multi-features property. So if we take the same example for multiple features, these are the multiple features, right? So can anyone tell me how many features are there and in this database, and what is the target class in this database? This is a multi-feature database, right? So how many features are there? How many attributes are there? Yes?
5, sir, 5.
Sir, one feature.
No, one feature. There are total 4 features. Name,
Four
Four
features, sir.
features, sir.
over 170 centimeter, eye, and hair length. These are the 4 features. Based on that, you can classify that whether Drew is a male or female, and this is a target class. Some expert view has been given to you. Why we require a target class? Because expert view is always required to take some decisions. যেমন ধরো, in a hospital, if you are going to judge whether a tumor is a benign tumor or a malignant tumor, ধরো তুমি একটা data classifier or data scientist, and your main job is to judge whether a tumor is a benign tumor or a malignant tumor. How can you judge it? Without the help of expert doctor's view, you are not able to judge it. It's very difficult to judge it because you have to first analyze the previous data according to the expert view or doctor's view. যে আগে যাদের যে পেশেন্টরা ছিল তাদের টিউমার গুলো কিরকম ছিল, ম্যালিগনেন্ট ছিল না বিনাইন ছিল, এবং কোন কোন ফিচার্স এর উপর বেস করে ইউ আর গোইং টু জাজ whether the tumor is malignant or benign, and that features will be suggested by the doctor of that particular hospital, or you will get the suggestion from the various doctors from the previous files of the patients of that particular hospital, and that is called a database with your predicted class or target class. And classifications of supervised learning is always applicable for the database which has some target class or predicted class. It is unsupervised learning hoto, if it is an unsupervised learning, or you will apply for clustering kind of things, then this sixth class was not present, this predicted class was absent, and you will have to predict without having any previous data or previous experiences. Without any expert view, you will have to predict the new data, that means whether Drew is a female or male, that you have to predict without any expert view. Clear? বুঝতে পারছো? So this is the way of how you can handle the naive Bayes classification with multiple features, and here in multiple features you will get the idea that all the features are working independently, or all the probabilities of attributes, each and every attribute will be calculated based on a particular class independently without affecting the others probability of the others attribute values. Okay, they are working independently. So this is the D1, this is the first feature. Suppose here the first feature is name. Okay, so D1 by CJ. The second feature is D2. What is the second feature? Second feature is over 170 centimeter. Okay, then third feature is this one, I. Then fourth feature is this one, hair length. Okay, so in this way 4 features and its corresponding probability of that class of both the classes, male and female, you will have to calculate and multiply within each other, and in this way you will calculate the entire probability of the particular sample Drew, whether it belongs to class male and female respectively, and the class which occupies or which holds the major probability or maximum probability, that will be represented as the final class. Okay, so let me show you one example regarding these multi features. The example which I already did. Okay, after 3 minutes the session will disappear. Okay, so all of you please click on the same link for the next session. Okay, so this is the dataset has been given to you. Look at this dataset very carefully. This dataset has been given to you, and this is the class, target class has been given to you, mango, banana. Only two classes are there, mango class and banana class, and these are the 2 features, sweet and shape. Okay, total is not enough feature, total is just for the total. Okay, you can it is actually optional, you can take it or you can remove it. Okay, total I have taken total to get for the sake of simplicity of the calculation, right? So these 3 are the actual, this is the actual data set you have. So the data set contains 2 features, sweet and shape. okay, which has some values, numeric features, and these two classes, mango and banana. Now we are going to provide you a new feature with some new value of sweet and new value of shape, and your job is to predict whether that new features are belongs to which class. Is it a mango class or is it a banana class? That is the objective. And with the help of naive Bayes classification, you will have to crack that particular problem, or you have to fulfill that particular objective, right? So our first calculation that we will do p of x slash mango, or x represents features. When x will be, x1 will be sweet and x2 will be shape. Okay, don't make it confused. X is the features, so x means xi. When xi is x1, then it will represent sweet. When xi is equal to x2, it will represent shape, right? So it will calculate probability of sweet slash mango into probability of shape slash mango. Probability of sweet slash mango into probability of shape slash mango. Okay, probability of sweet slash mango into probability of shape slash mango. Now, what is the probability of sweet slash mango? So sweet, the probability of sweet is 300, and what is the total number of mango probability? 840. Okay, so we will calculate the conditional probability of individual event. So P of sweet slash mango, if we calculate the P of sweet slash mango, so we can do like this: P of sweet slash mango. That means individual probability of individual features we'll need to calculate, right? So we'll calculate this one, probability of sweet slash mango. So it is nothing but a probability of mango slash sweet into probability of sweet total divided by probability of mango. Do you understood what I am doing? Anyone has any confusion? Do you understood it? These are conditional probability for the first feature on the given class mango. Is it clear to you? সবাই বুঝতে পারছো? Is it clear to you?